It's me.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Gar.
Jimmy and Nick.
I am the god.
I think we peaked and we have our little group of fans and we're good.
He allegedly raped 11 women.
The Japanese Bill Cosby. Cut that out.
This show just blew me away.
Yeah.
It was the best first season of a superhero show ever. Not that there's been a million, but it is basically one of the greatest ideas because it flipped all the people who were saying Marvel should try grittier, and they did, but it's not. I don't think the grittiness is what makes that show so good. It's just a part of the element beyond the acting and the character study and the shots of the fight scenes. I mean, that's what makes this show a step above what I think anybody really expected, especially from, and the budget's really shitty, by the way. I don't know if you guys read the budget on the show, but it was literally 1/4 of the amount of budget of Spartacus, and Spartacus wasn't even that high budget.
I just want to remind you guys, while we discuss this, only saw the first 6 episodes. So
Okay. Well, there's nothing. I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything, but we'll go to the 6th episode because I feel like the first 8 episodes really are the defining moments of that entire show.
Oh,
and
trail off at the end?
Oh, no, I think it's still great.
It doesn't trail off. It's a slow burn build up to the end.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? I'm not spoiling anything, but the only flaw that I had with this show was with maybe the last 5 minutes of the final episode. And I'm not saying specifics. I felt was slightly rushed, but other than that, the rest of the show is pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
Well, see, I felt the opposite. I don't think it was rushed. I think there were parts where they're like, this is Netflix, so we can just have extra footage. And there were some moments in episodes where I'm like, I guess they could have cut that out. It would have been no big deal. It was very few in between. It was usually like 1 or 2 parts per the last few episodes.
Oh, no. I don't think the whole series was rushed. I just think the last 5 minutes were rushed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, the ending is very, and it's not spoiler, Jimmy, it is very superhero-like. And every superhero movie does this.
Yeah.
You know, you got the main bad guy, the main good guy. You know it's going to happen. You're going to expect some cheesy lines.
Okay.
But it just kind of felt a little bit more out of place in Daredevil because you compare the last fight scene, which is good and entertaining as a superhero fight, but it basically, the last fight scene reminds me more of an Arrow fight scene, and then I go back and watch episode 2, and I'm just like, what the fuck? No. It's a totally different tonal fight.
Yeah.
And that didn't bother me, though. The last fight didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me. It's just so different.
How does the suit look in action?
I thought it was interesting. The only thing it's more logical, and Daredevil is going for the logical, more Nolan idea.
Soul, grounded.
Realistic, yeah. It looks cool enough, and it works like you would expect to work on a fight level, but of course I'm the fan of a more sleeker Daredevil because of how athletic he is and stuff, so I would like more of the traditional red just replacing the black.
Okay.
But this is a real world where this dude got shot and stabbed and beat to shit, so I don't expect him to fucking not wear some armor as he's going around beating up thugs.
I really liked Daredevil. I thought it was pretty badass. One thing though, real quick, James, you're not the only one who's still liking Arrow. I still like Arrow.
Back to Daredevil. Okay. I just think the best thing about that show is that it is just really well made. It has its idea of its storyline. There's no bullshit, and even the slower episodes are building up to something big. And so I really enjoyed it. I think it was like really one of the best things Marvel's put out.
Yeah.
It's probably my top 5 stuff that they've done.
Oh, yeah. The best thing Marvel Studios has put out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, no, I still like Captain America more, and I still like Avengers more. Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Daredevil, Guardians are like the 3 favorites.
Dude, if Winter Soldier had a part where Captain America smashed someone's head through a car door, then I would have been, hell yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see. That's the thing. I don't want Captain America to ever go that far. When I watch Captain America, I want him to beat the shit out of people, but not kill them or beat the shit out to the point where
he does kill people though. Like
he straight up shot people in the first movie.
In the first
yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I don't want to see like a gritty Captain America.
Well, what you're saying is you don't want to see him be brutal like someone like the fucking Kingpin, which makes a lot of sense. Like he's a hero. He's not gonna like use a blender to like rip someone's dick off. He's just like gonna take him out if he needs to.
Cap's only killed when he's like
he's a soldier.
He's like Superman or something like that, in the sense that he'll only kill if it's absolutely necessary.
I like the fact that Captain America isn't gritty, and Winter Soldier had enough smart to not have to do that. It was an entertaining film without that.
The Russo brothers,
but Daredevil is a very interesting take. I love the grittiness.
Oh yeah.
But to me, it's really just the character. And what was the actor's name who played
Charlie Cox?
Dude's amazing. He made that show.
Yeah.
I loved him in Boardwalk Empire.
I never thought he'd be a great actor because I saw him in like a couple of early like movies, like in his career, and I thought he was okay, maybe not great. I saw him in a movie called Stardust, and I thought he was like the
man,
I love that movie, but he's the weakest part of that movie. But he was great in this show.
He was good in When they cast him, I knew him mostly from Boardwalk.
Really? Okay, well, never mind.
From Boardwalk Empire?
He was the only good part of his season, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, but he was in 2 seasons, season 2 and 3, and he ended up being stuffed in a box. His corpse ended up being stuffed in a box and being delivered to Steve Buscemi.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need to watch it now. Yeah. they killed Daredevil, so I don't even give a shit. I wasn't going to watch it anyway.
They don't tell you how they killed him, but
Vincent D'Onofrio, I think he's a great actor, but I really didn't like the voice he used.
I didn't mind the voice. His face. He always looked like he was going to cry.
Yeah, that too. Like, he always... Like, I feel like they were trying really hard to make him a well-rounded character, which is why they showed him, like, going on dates and stuff. But I feel like a man that is going to take control over Hell's Kitchen and is so physically imposing and charismatic as a fucking crime boss wouldn't be this stumbling bitch when it comes...
I kind of like that, though.
I did, too.
I mean, I just like
such a mix.
I think it was overboard. I feel like
he seems like a nice, kind of nicest guy, like nice-ish, I guess. And then if you just piss him off, he will murder you.
Oh, absolutely,
murder you hard.
Absolutely. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with showing him as like kind when he doesn't need to be hard and all thug. But I feel like to show him as like an unconfident person and indecisive betrays the character a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's a part later on in the series where I'm not going to say what happens, just something happens where his character is sad, let's just say. And it's actually, like, you kind of feel for him, even though he's already done horrible shit. Like, you're just like, oh, man, oh, buddy. Oh, wait, you did horrible shit. I don't even care. What am I doing?
Okay.
But,
well, I'll tell you this. The one thing I do like about the actor is that, I think for us, especially me and you, Jimmy, we know Kingpin from so many comics, and it's very different Kingpin than we're used to.
To be honest, I still like the idea of showing his like romantic side. I thought that was a really clever touch. Like the first time you're seeing him, after hearing about him, like he's the fucking Voldemort or Dark Lord Sauron, he who shall not be named. So she's like, hey, I want to buy a painting and take you to get a sandwich. Like
I really like this when he has rabbits.
Do you want to get full? I like that.
But wait, you haven't seen? See, there's like I was on the same boat as you up to like episode, I think it was 10, and then there was this part in certain parts when he says things that to me were like, that's the Kingpin.
Okay, maybe I mean like that's why I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I'm assuming there's going to be a scene where he's like, I am not a punk ass bitch. I am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a few scenes like that.
Yeah.
There's one scene that some guy's like punking him. He's like, and this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And Kingpin's like, no, it fucking isn't. And he just
I think your opinion will change of him in the episode where it's centered around him. There's a whole episode pretty much centered around Kingpin.
Yeah. Episode 8.
Yeah, that one's really.
And I PM'd James about it because, and this isn't a spoiler. Kingpin's dad is played by Herc from The Wire.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very cool scene.
Yeah, because I
totally see see that.
Yeah, I know, too. After I watched it, I'm like, oh my god. And I was like, damn, he's getting old.
Because I just messaged you. Remember? I was ahead of you, right? At that point.
I was like 2 episodes behind. We met. I was like, oh shit. And then when we watched it, because I'm showing Kelly The Wire season 1, and she's like, man, he got old. And I'm like, yeah, it's like 10 years. No, it's like 15 years later.
Well, let's
my favorite villain ever.
I'll say real fast since I already kind of said it, but my favorite part about the show, besides the obviously highlighted fight scene in episode 2 and some great ones later on, it is Charlie. I mean, there was
Charlie?
these are superhero movies. So besides at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, no movie ever really brought emotion out of me, like sadness. But there's a part later on in this show where he's like crying.
Okay.
And for first time in a superhero show, I ever was like actually sad watching it.
Oh, shit.
Like, it was really sad. Like, this dude must have been thinking about the worst shit because he looked like he was like really legitimately crying at the scene.
I'm a fucking sucker then because like I already like tear up sometimes like when the woman Foggy was helping may have died. That just
Oh no, there's some great. The whole show itself has some great dramatic moments. It's just this one scene, like it was really sad.
God,
like
I know
wish
which
we
one
could
you're
talk
talking
about
about.
episode 9.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
episode 9 is probably. Here's my thing. I love the whole series, right?
Mm-hmm.
But episode 9,
Mm-hmm.
which again, one thing they did brilliantly, and that Stephen the Knight did in Spartacus sometimes, was he would take episodes and focus on characters, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But still push the narrative forward, right? Or
Yeah.
focus on character relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that episode 9 is about Foggy and Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, is that such
Yeah.
a good episode?
That is a really good episode.
That might be my favorite episode from the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put that at my
That
top
and
3.
Stick. Stick
Was good too.
Oh, that's the one I'm up to.
Just because they got Scott Glenn, and I love that guy.
Honestly, I thought Stick was kind of a disappointment,
Really?
but it just kind of felt like rushed. If that was a 2-parter, I would have been so much happier,
Okay,
but
I can see that.
it was still good. There was not a single episode on that show that was below a 7.
You know, the thing I love about the show the most, I feel that a lot of movies even struggle with, and a lot of series struggle with, is that it feels like its own world. Like, you feel like, you look at a show like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or even Arrow, and you're already familiar with the tone, you've already like kind of like tasted this meal before, and you kind of know what they're going for. It's kind of bland, but like Daredevil, like you were completely fucking enmeshed in that world. Just it's so well developed. Like between
Even though they give like little Easter eggs about other superheroes in the Marvel universe, like there's even
It is set. It is set in the MCU. It is confirmed to be set in the MCU. And the Battle of New York from Avengers. That's not a subtle reference. They reference it. There's 2 times they reference it.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm not like disputing that. I'm just saying like I like that it has its own tone within this universe. Like I feel like
gotcha.
a lot of like Marvel movies and DC movies and shows like all kind of like tend to like blend together after a little while, but this one you would not fucking mistake for anything. And I love that it's so distinct when it's set in a world with people like Thor and Rich Robot Man, and then you have like
and
it
Super
just
Soldier.
feels so different. I fucking love that, and I hope.
Well, I kind of feel like I disagree on the Arrow thing only because I feel like it's definitely a whole different tone than Flash, and they're in the same universe.
I just feel like I don't know. When I watch it, like you can immediately like before I think of it as like Arrow's tone, I think of it as CW's tone. You know what I mean?
No,
Oh.
because I watch so many CW shows, but I would say it's definitely, as the creator even said many times, he wanted to make a Batman show and they said no.
Yeah.
So it definitely feels like a Batman show, but that's okay because I didn't like the last Batman movie, so I'm okay with Arrow being like Batman.
Here's the thing with superhero TV shows that they're doing right. There's one show that's still doing something incredibly stupid, and no, it's not a Marvel show, okay? You'll be surprised. I think the thing that they used to do with TV shows was let's make it a subtle version like Smallville, right? Or that Birds of Prey shit, where it's like it's kind of about him, it's kind of a Superman show, but it's not really Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until the last 2 seconds.
Not and.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Smallville, and I'm a huge Superman fan. I'm probably the biggest one out of this group. But I'll say this though:
of your Superman.
I love Superman. But I'm not a fan of Smallville because I want to fucking see Superman. I don't want